First of all, I wanted to use the first slide of Michele this morning, saying he doesn't want to be alone. And by working not alone, but without such discussion with other pilots, all my feeling was, am I alone to realize what I'm doing in the PEF pilot? And what I see this morning and the previous presentation, I'm not alone. What I'm living and experiencing is what most of the other people are saying. So I am in the average situation, and a lot of things that has been said before, I will re-say it again because it's similar issues, and that's reassuring to see that we are all experiencing the same pace of development and experiencing the same issues. Return or mouse? Return or mouse? Oh, okay. So, as I was suggested to before, a UPS, an uninterruptible power supply, is a device that you attach to any electrical equipment you have in your house or in a factory, in a building, or wherever. There used to be a lot of small ones still, but now with PCs you have portable, you have batteries. But before, when you have tower systems, then you attach a UPS so that in case you have a power shortage, you don't lose all your data and all your work. So it's an equipment with a battery and electronic, and when there is a power outage, immediately the battery supply power to the equipment. So you have this type of UPSs, very small one, to protect a PC or a video system or whatever, and you have big ones for industries, and a big share of our market today is data centers. I mean, Google, eBay, and so on, they don't want to stop their business. So there are a lot of UPS, and in that case, the UPS is here just for 5-10 minutes, just to let the time of genset to start and power the equipment, or switch to another power source. So that's a UPS. And in the technical secretariat, we have more than 75% of the EU market share represented in the technical secretariat. So you have all the big names. All the other ones were invited, and so there were small ones, not enough resource to join. But all the big names are here, and I am from Schneider Electric, and I'm leading this project. Also in the technical secretariat, we have two trade associations. One is the French one, GIMELEC, that's the trade association covering all the electrical products, and CEMEP, is the European Trade Association of UPS manufacturers. So all the members above are members of the CEMEP, plus the other ones not participating to this program. We also have a program operator called PEP Passport, so that's the French association developing PCRs and able to validate PCR. And that's SGS as the consulting expert helping us. PEP Passport, it's part of some of the activity done before, and before joining the PEF pilot, we thought we were very well advanced and very almost of the work was done. And the more we work in the PEF pilot, and the more we realize that what we have done was not, I would say, precise enough to match the requirement of the PEF pilot. So the more we progress and the more work we realize we have to do. And I will show you some of the example of the work already done, but that's very important for us because we can use it, but we thought we just can copy-paste, and that's not the case. And we realized that after starting the project. Why we join? Because most of the manufacturers here already did LCAs in their different companies for different reasons with different tools and so on, and published already product environmental profiles. So that's something we did, and we say, okay, we're going to use it and validate it through the PEF pilot program. The work done, we prepared, we developed a PCR in the scope of the CEMEPS, so the European Association of UPS Manufacturers, and publish it through the PEP Eco Passport in France. So we thought, well done, we will just bring that to the Commission and that's finished. And that was not the case at all. And we also are engaged into the ERP, so the Lot 27, ERPs for energy-related products. So we are now in the phase where the consultant gave their report. They made a life cycle assessment with their own tools, with their own rules and so on. And they are suggesting now to the Commission some requirements and some, like a label to put on our product. So that's other activities already here. Some are very close, some are related. And that's a lot of things already done or in progress for the UPS. And one of the other reasons was, of course, to anticipate the upcoming requirements. So a UPS, you have a small one and a big one. So the small one is the size of a computer, not bigger. So the most of the size and the weight is battery. And you have big ones. So the big one is just the cabinet. It can be that big. But you can have a building like this full of batteries to have autonomy, backup autonomy. So I already explained you what it is. It's to protect an application. And the unit of analysis we finally choose, the what is to ensure power supply to an electrical equipment, which is really what a UPS is for. Then the how much, we decided to select something that can correspond to the small one and the big one. When I say small and big, we can also say B2C and B2B. The B2C is small product you can buy in a store, and the B2B are big ones, not developed on purpose, but that can be configured for the customer. So we have both markets, as the paint and other products. And the 100 watts for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is something that can basically be the autonomy of a small and a big one. 5 minutes is an average time. And 100 watt is a number that we can reduce so that we can compare the functional unit. How long? How often? It's 1 year, so we will reduce to 1 year per product to have an average time. And how well is without interruption. This is the intent of the product. So that's the functional unit we finally found. We are now, as you know, at the screening study phase. As other pilots, we experienced some issues getting data. And I will come back on that later on. But the two main points that are appearing. When we look at the market share in Europe, there is a big market share for small product and a small one for big ones. So there is an issue that we need to solve is if you look at the market share, the biggest impact is with the small product because we sell a lot. So there will be more impact on the European market due to small products. But if you look at the product itself, there is much more impact from a big product than a small one. So we have an issue of what are we looking at? Do we look at the global European impact, so the overall environmental impact in Europe? In that case, we should focus on the small one. Or do we look at the product level? And in that case, we should focus at the big ones. And that will be part of the result of the screening study. And maybe we will have two ways of looking at the product. And not a surprise from what we have from the first outcome of the screening study, the main impact is the use phase. The UPS is here running 24 hours a day. And so it's always plugged, always charging batteries, and always, even not less, but always consuming some energy just because it's plugged. So the use phase is the most impacting phase. Second one is the raw material production, because you have a lot of of metal, batteries, and raw material inside. So the second one is this one. And the other life cycle phases are coming after. There is no real order, but there is a big difference between these two categories. The lesson learned. So we realized that the Commission requirements are much higher than expected. And we were very confident at the beginning. We are still be confident, but there is much more work to do than we expected. On the other hand, there will be a lot of benefits. For instance, we made assumptions in the work we did in CEMEP, in other organizations. And when we came with this assumption to the Commission, they say, okay, fine, but give us number. Then we will say if you can assume it's neglectable or not. Don't just say us it's neglectable. So come with data and make all the calculation. And that's something we did, but not really. And so we have to go much further into this assumption that we took before. There is another benefit, a side benefit, I would say. The work done in our companies, well, sometimes, I wouldn't say secret, but that's not something very visible in the companies working on LCA. Having this PEF pilot program in Europe gives a lot of visibility to this type of activity in the different industries, in the different countries, and in the different functions inside the company. So that's a benefit of having this big, huge project in Europe for people like us doing LCA or in our companies. Another point that people raised before, it's difficult to get data. And it's difficult for several reasons on our side. Of course, we have issues on privacy, because we will look at products, and we are five manufacturers, and not all manufacturers are covering the whole range. So maybe just 2 manufacturers are providing small UPSs, and if you just get data from 2 companies, one company can know the data from the other one, even if you make an average. So we have privacy issues to have enough data. It's already difficult to have data inside a company, but we also have difficulties to have enough data to merge it and make it anonymous. Also, it's not the type, but that's a problem everybody knows, but that's not the type of data that is collected very easily in the company, and especially because it's a broad type of data. When you talk to R&D or purchasing department, they can ask suppliers what's inside the product. But when we talk to the size of a plant, how much energy is consumed by a plant, that's another department. And collecting data, all the data is available in the company, but in different areas, and to ask different people, it's very time-consuming and difficult to have them here. Another point, that's the merge between products, and for instance, the expected lifetime. That's a discussion we have with the IT pilot. What lifetime do we consider? That's the question for building, but for an IT equipment, and that's which type of lifetime. Okay, we know the issue, but that's something that's a problem, because we can have diversity, but that at the end that can be better because we can merge this. And one point I want to highlight, we talk of the SEN standard for construction. And I launched a group in IC, so SC22H, which is the UPS standard, to start preparing the work for a PCR, for UPSs. And there are 2 things that I notice, and that maybe I already heard some of that. There is a different level of expertise in the people in the standardization group. Some are expert in the product, and some are expert in environment. And that's sometimes very difficult to make them talk together, because environmental experts don't really know the product, and people who know the product don't know the environmental process and so on. So having these 2 types of population into one group to develop a standard, that's really an issue for me. And the other point is the timing. So we talk of reviewing the SEN standard, so when do we do that and so on. And I started this work in parallel of PEF pilot. And I see that it is very difficult, because if we wait for the outcome of the PEF pilot, then we are too late for the standardization work. If we go too fast in the standardization work, we will miss the outcome of the PEF pilot. So I think that in parallel, I realize that it may be not the better solution. And that's all I want to say on this topic. Thank you.